WRHU continues its National Black Business Month coverage in the world of music, where Dennis L. Reed is the head of development at one of the only minority-owned film and television distribution companies in Detroit. The company is inking deals for exclusive content with Tubi, Amazon Prime, and IMDb TV. To talk to us more about the company, we welcome in Dennis L. Reed II. Mr. Reed, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for calling me, man.
We appreciate.
How are you?
I'm doing well. We appreciate the opportunity to have you on. Now, Homestead Entertainment is known for giving actors, actresses, producers, and directors opportunities in the entertainment space. But what is it about Homestead Entertainment that should draw people in as a potential next step in their career?
I think what makes us different is that we basically try to help you continue to make your dreams come true. You know, a lot of times with black and brown people, when they do a movie, they don't have a good distribution company that could get them on the right platforms and make sure that they do what they're supposed to do. You know, one of my misfortunes was I did a television series and ended up giving it to a distribution company and never even got paid for it. You know, only for that company to be taken out by the FBI. You know what I mean? So with Homestead, it's basically we are here to make your dreams a reality, making sure that you get paid for your work. You know, putting it where people can really see it and enjoy your work. You know, that's like one of the biggest things.
When you think of the head of development, you think of improving and polishing talent. But how do you balance the fine line between making sure this talent is always improving versus, although this talent is improving, we still have to make sure they remain with Homestead Entertainment?
Well, I think it's kind of different with when I hear you say improving talent, because that's not really exactly what I do. Basically, what I do is I make sure that with Homestead, I'm able to reach out to new producers, new directors, and bring them in up under us, you know. And by being like that, hopefully when they get big and their name is really big, they still want to be with us. But if they don't, that's fine. You know, we are trying to find tomorrow's, Spike Lee. You know, that's like one of the things that we're trying to do. And we just happen to have been able to do that with these last two films. Like, we just got a young lady named Lisa Brown, she's an author, and we just got her movie called He Played Me, and her movie did over $200,000 in 2 weeks, you know, off a $25,000 budget. So when you hear something like that, that's like unbelievable, you know. But those are the things that we do. We find them tomorrow stars today.
I understand the pitch you were making about the example you were making about you guys make dreams come true, right? But let's say for Lisa Brown, when she's sitting down with you in your office or wherever you guys do your meetings, what is that pitch like? What are you telling them in order to make them sign on to Homestead Entertainment beyond we can make your dreams come true?
I'm being authentic with them. I'm showing them numbers. I'm showing them what we have done with my films and other people's films. You know, I have a wall in my office. I call it the Millionaire Wall. So on the Millionaire Wall is basically, you know, ever who make $1 million with us, you know, they got to sign the wall. And the reason why that is so big is because when a filmmaker get into doing films, normally they don't do it for the money. They doing it out of love. They doing it out of, you know, trying to better their family lives, you know. But we, as in black and brown people, we don't normally have a person or a company that is putting our movies out and getting us the finances that we are able to give, you know. And it's just the pictures just being real, you know, showing them the plan, showing them how we're going to advertise their movie, showing them that the cover that they have may not be the right cover. You know, it's like we are really hands-on and trying to teach them not just how we're going to distribute their film, but the business behind the distribution of the film. You know, because I think once people understand the business, They start doing their films a little bit differently. They start, making sure that their actors don't cuss as much, or making sure that the sound on their movies is great instead of just, you can't hear it. It's just so many things. We like basically trying to teach them that they're part of a family now. And when you get with a big distribution company, they just try to get your movie and put it up. They don't care about none of what we're trying to make them to become.
That's a great segue into my next question. I kind of want to touch on the education aspect of Homestead Entertainment. You have the numbers on your website that show 94% of Hollywood film executives are white and that 87% of directors are white. Although you can bat these issues by giving opportunity to people of color, how do you work to educate the media professionals that you work with on what's going on in the world around them, particularly in Hollywood?
Well, basically, I don't. I try to take us out of Hollywood. I try to take us into, really middle class America, because me trying to play ball with Warner Brothers is not going to work. So basically, what I try to do is I hired a great publicist. That publicist just doesn't represent me. It don't just represent Homestead. It represents all our people. It represents all our directors and our producers. And with us being able to do that, it's like we giving light to it, because I'm a kind of person that I always say that most people are looked at by what they see on the news, by what they read in the newspaper, by what they see on TV. And the only way we change the narrative is if we are able to tell our story, and when you have that most of the executives in Hollywood are white, who's telling our black stories? Who's telling the gay story, the homosexual story? Who's telling the Spanish people story? Who's telling those stories? Because when somebody that don't look like you or do not live your life tell your story, they normally get your story wrong because they going off hearsay. And I'm just trying to change that over at Homestead. That's like me, Rob, Lynn, and Sean. That was like one of our big things when we were sitting down talking like we're about to start this company. We wanted to have a voice. That's why we called it Homestead, because Homestead is actually the name of the first black movie ever made, called Homesteader. And those are the things that we try to do.
So can you talk to us about what does the future hold? Obviously, your mission is clear. The work you're doing is phenomenal. But what is next for Homestead Entertainment?
To basically become the biggest distribution company ever. That's the goal, to be the best. I look at it like if you in this and you're not in it to be the best, you don't need to be in it. I want to fill up my wall. I need my Millionaire Wall to be filled up. And I don't want it filled up with just black people. I don't want it filled up with just brown people. I want everybody to want to come there because they know that we love them and they know that we treat them like family. They're just not a piece of property for us. They're family. I want Homestead to be the company that, when your kid graduates, you want to invite us to come to the graduation because you don't look at it just as a check. And that's what's important. What's important is making people know that, we love you as family. And a lot of companies go away from that. I think that, if you look back in the day, like when our grandparents and, when they was in businesses or worked for people, it wasn't just work for them. You knew your employees. You knew their family. You had their family pictures in the offices and all that kind of stuff. That's what we're trying to get back to, So that's what's important to me and also to my partners.
That message is clear, and another opportunity you guys provide is the Comcast Film Festival program. Can you talk to our audience about the opportunity that provides for indie filmmakers and how that furthers your mission of giving opportunity to people of color in the film industry?
Well, what happened was we ended up partnering with Comcast to, basically pick out their urban movie section on a lot of their movies. And we end up, since COVID, a lot of the film festivals are now online. So between all of us, we're looking at films that are able to give them $3,000 to $5,000 per film and have it played on Comcast, but it's a non-exclusive deal also. So then you can also still make money on the Tubies and the IMDb TVs and the Vimos, you know, and hopefully you sign with Homestead to do that. And, you know, it's just like a lot of our movies are micro budgets. So we talking about people that are playing with between $25,000 and $500,000. Those are micro budget movies, you know, and you're able to start right away with getting something towards the move you into the black just by being on Comcast. And then not only just being on Comcast, hopefully somebody is seeing, and that's how you grab your followers.
That micro budget you talk about, it probably took a hit when COVID-19 arose, right? So how did you guys adjust to trying to produce content while being shut out due to the pandemic?
That's the beautiful part about being independent. You know, a lot of independent people will still make movies like myself. I believe I did 2 movies. I did 3 movies during COVID. And, you know, yeah, we had to go through all the, you know, making sure everything was sanitized and all that. But that was really a good time for me and a lot of other independents, you know. And then what made it even better was, you know, with the exceptional 1 quarter, you know, because when it first happened, we took a hit with advertising dollars on Tubi and IMDb TV. But after that, so advertising went up because everybody was at home watching television. You know, everybody was, you know, so excited once the world opened up that now a lot of our movies that was being played then, now they being played all over again because, you know, people are just ready to watch TV. You know, it's like everybody's not going to the movie theater anymore. A lot of people are watching it from home. You know, I think that with a lot of independents, they were more prepared for their television than even the big companies. Because the big companies, they always look at, okay, we got to get all these screens. They wasn't really ready to have to do premieres at home when a lot of independent people was already doing that for years. So they had to really catch up with us at that point. And if you knew how to advertise on the internet, like we all basically know how to do it, what we teach at Homestead, you were a little bit ahead of a Warner Brothers or a Lionsgate because we've been doing it for so long already.
What advice would you give students or young people who plan to start a career within this field who may not know where to start or could be possibly losing hope because they're not receiving the support they expect?
I would say, first off, you have to believe in you. You know, you have to know that you can't say what you're going to do. You got to just start doing it. So if you say you're going to write a script, write the script. You know, it doesn't take years to write a script. Really sit down and treat it like it's a job for a minute. You know, if you say you want to act, you need to go and really do auditions. I tell a lot of people here from Detroit, because they say, well, I want to act, I want to be on big time screens and do all this. I'm like, well, are you going to Atlanta? Are you going to New York? Are you even dealing with the producers here? Are you talking to people? You know, it's just about doing it, because a lot of people don't understand, if you tell God what you want and then he sees that you working towards it, you'll be surprised at the doors that open for you, you know, and it just takes you to start doing it. And once you start doing it, you'll be surprised, man. You have so many people trying to get you in their movies or trying to help you get your script done. It just happens, but you have to first take the initiative to make it happen.
We want to thank you so much, Mr. Reed, for taking the time. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed talking to you both.